Hey everybody, welcome to Season 3 of the Silph Arena. We are starting off with the Sunrise Cup. It is flying, grass, fire, ground and normal types. No rock types, no megas. So we are recapping our tournament that we ran this morning. It was heaps of fun. We did really well and I'll see you on the other side and we'll have a chat. Alright, welcome. We are into our first battle here against Darth Kylo Ren. First thing we're going to look at is my team. So we've got the Skarmory, Abomasnow, Alolan Marowak, Galarian Stunfisk, Mantine, and Vigoroth. So a bit of a standard meta team, and it's one that's really strong, and there's not a lot of things that aren't covered here. And you're going to see a lot of the same Pokemon in this cup. So Darth Kylo Ren, very, very similar team. Says he's running Ferrothorn and Wigglytuff instead. So here we go, and we have a shocking lead straight off of the bat. So we have Mantine here, and Mantine is really... it's the best counter, I think, for Vigoroth in this cup. It's probably the only switch-in counter that doesn't lose if you want to spend the shields. So you can guarantee yourself a win, and there we go. So we see them switch out, so they just wanted to get a little bit of chip damage or maybe a shield to put them into a positive spot in this first matchup, which is a really nice way of playing it, because a lot of stuff in this cup, it ends up being such a close win, especially going to see in our second lot of battles. There's some really close matches, so we're just hoping to land this Ice Beam and just get a bit of damage onto that Mantine, and we do. So the two Ice Beams, you can see how much that does, but their Mantine is loaded with energy. So I was predicting a bait here and correctly got the Bubble Beam, but it ends up actually going against us because we end up getting pretty debuffed, and these counters aren't getting there, and taking an Ice Beam as well. So we've got a ton of energy but no health. So we're not in a spot we want to be. So out comes that Vigoroth instantly. Now, you might be able to debate whether or not that was a good switch in or switch out. We could have, I guess, thrown those two body slams we have on our Vigoroth, but their Vigoroth had energy too, so we would have had to expended shields as well. So not ideal. But there we go, we get the last shield, and now we take out with the Vigoroth. Well, we'd like to, but I don't know why. I thought it did more. I thought we had a KO there, so we are forced to shield and counter down, and we just have so little health. Galarian Stunfisk, we just can't do it. We can't do it. We can't get to a Bulldoze and some extra counters and a Body Slam. Now, Darth Kylo through here probably could have just farmed out. In the end, doesn't matter. We get Mud Shot down and we lose opening round here against Darth Kylo Ren. So really interesting and very much a lead loss. And here we go. We come in with a Abomasnow against Wigglytuff. This is not the end of the world for us. We're going to force Wigglytuff to use both its shields or it's going to lose. It's a really nice thing here. We can use one shield, or if they don't throw and just go for the charms down, then we'll see. So Wigglytuff, one shield gone, sorry, and we get the next Weather Ball, and they have to shield this or they're gone, and they've got that energy, so they do waste their second shield, so they're down 2-0 shields, and we bring in Skarmory. Now Ice Beam is neutral, we do not need to shield this. We're going to keep that shield advantage and just keep ourselves in a really strong position. Now unfortunately here we got a ton of lag. Kind of makes this matchup a little bit like, oh come on, what would have happened, what could have, would have. But in the end I think it ends up being reasonably fair. We get the Sky Attack, it doesn't KO, they get a Body Slam, so, and then they get the second Body Slam, so that's 100% fair there. There's no, so we take the loss knowing that we've got our Marowak in the back with 2 shields, and he's gonna farm an absolute ton. We don't need to shield this, even if it's a Bulldoze, because it doesn't KO, and we knew they weren't even there with energy. So we're gonna keep those shields, and out comes Mantine. So we definitely have to get that Shadow Ball off super quick before we get debuffed. Otherwise, we are not going to come close to KOing her. If we had had 2 Shadow Ball, one debuff before we got off that Shadow Ball, we just weren't gonna get there, because the second one would have been double debuffed. You know, it's even worse. So second Shadow Ball comes in, and a sliver of health. We are forced to use our last shield, and we should be able to just Fire Spin down from here. But out comes that Wigglytuff. Ooh, We kind of forgot about that at the time, to be honest. We thought we'd taken care of it. Fortunately, Bone Club was there, and then we're just one more. And look at that health. There is like 2 HP left on that Marowak. So we had 1-1 against Dark Color Red first round. Super close battles, right? Super close. And we nail it. So this is really where Mantine shines. So they're straight out of there. And we do a really similar thing here. But unlike our opponent, we didn't throw the charge move before they debuffed us. So not quite what we would have liked. But then we do land that. So now Skarmory is actually in quite a strong spot here. And we get a Sky Attack first. If they had thrown the Bubble Beam, the Sky Attack wouldn't have done anywhere near as much damage, and they wouldn't have had to have shielded. So we've got one shield. We're up shields again, and it's just the Bubble Beam bait once again. So these air slashes will add up. It's neutral damage, but they do seem to be doing a bit more than the bubbles. And we take the Ice Beam, but we're keeping that shield. So keeping shields puts shield pressure on your opponents as well. So they don't want to go down 2 shields to none. It's an interesting thing. I'm sure you felt the same when you've done your battles. So, and there we go. We've got that Mantine there. We know. Ooh, and like, ooh, they're not switching out. So Shadow Ball's going to do a reasonable amount, but he goes for the Bone Club bait. And you can see we're waiting for them to switch. We had that switch window up there in case, and they're not. They're sticking it out. So good position. And there they go. We're waiting for the debuff. So this is great. Sorry, no, we're waiting to throw the energy. This is great. We're up a shield. It's a really close matchup. Counters do a ton of damage. We can keep our shields there for that Mantine if we want to. Counters will do enough here, so I'm predicting we're going to shield. No, we let this one go. We let it go because we can get a little bit of extra energy, and they're not going to get to another body slam. Oh, they do. So we are unfortunately forced to use our our first shield, I should say. But then we've got 2 bubble beams there ready to go. It's going to debuff him so much, and we get the second one off, which is nice. So they've got a ton of energy though, and we're a little worried. I'm like, oh, maybe I don't think they have enough for a Bone Club. Bone Club, then Shadow Ball. They're 1 bubbled from dying. And I'm like, oh, this is definitely a Bone Club. They're just throwing double Bone Club, whatever. But it is the Shadow Ball, and if we hadn't have got that double stage debuff, we would have lost again 2 HP. So close there. Alright, next opponent up, Paraplexy. We can see really different team here. It has the Wishcash, Meganium, and Charizard in the back. So we probably do a slightly silly thing here, and we switch into our Abomasnow. That means we're left with the Mantine in the back and a Galarian Stunfisk with that Meganium. Probably not a nice spot to be in, but we just kind of done ourselves a nasty there. But we've got a ton of energy. We're just going for the Weather Ball bait, hoping to get a shield, and we do get the shield, which is really nice. And we just need to get some more damage off onto this Galarian Stunfisk. So throwing the Weather Ball, hoping we get to another Weather Ball first, and we cannot. Now we are happy to shield, so we're even shields here. So it actually ends up flipping this matchup to be slightly positive in our favor. Just the pace of those Weather Balls coming out, and we get the next shield. So we're thinking, man, we're set now. We shield this farm down. We got energy, and they switch in Meganium. We're like, this is golden. This is exactly where we want to be. And that's why they were throwing their energy. Now this is where we screw up big time. Not much we can do. Both of them are going to take a reasonable hit from this Frenzy Plant. We know they've got Charizard in the back, so it's trying to farm down a little bit and then throw. So we don't know they have Charizard in the back. I apologize. And then we're basically forced now to throw our energy on something that we were actually hoping to try and farm down. So we really wasted half of 2 Pokemon to take out this much of a Meganium. And it's Mantine in the back, so we get the Rock Slide off first. And I'm still thinking, oh, we've got so much energy, well, we should be okay. But they are able to go to Absolute Town, get a little bit of extra energy on top of a bubble, and take us out. And then I'm still thinking we're fine, but we're in Ice Beam territory here, right? And I needed more than an Ice Beam, so massive mistake. I should have thrown the Bubble Beam first, debuff them, and then thrown the Ice Beam, and we might have survived that Ice Beam. So again, losing match 1, we've got to make some alterations here. correct ourselves to pull our heads back into this game, and we get the perfect lead. A Bomber Snow into Whiscash, we get some extra energy, and they switch into Mantine, and we are straight out of there into our Skarmory. So Skarmory can actually, I mean, Mantine's so bait dependent that it really struggles unless it lands exactly what it wants when it wants. So we called the bait there, and just see those air slashes really putting in some work. A Mantine has probably an easier time of when to shield and when not to shield, but it has a much harder time of when to bait and when not to bait. So it's an interesting dynamic that they have, and we get the shield there, and Mantine is throwing a few extra bubbles, but it is definitely within Bubble Beam KO range, so it has a little bit of that extra energy, and we are charging up extra here. So there we go, great. They've thrown a Bubble Beam, and we can now farm an absolute ton of energy and take that Mantine down. So Abomasnow is up a shield and is loaded. So we had switch advantage gone, so Vigoroth in this scenario, unless they had Altaria in the back, he's going to be doing well against everything else, especially when he's up a shield. Fortunately, there wasn't that Altaria in the back, otherwise it would have been a fair bit of work for us to do. But, I mean, it's just beautiful. Vigoroth's in such a nice spot. We know Abomasnow can take out Whiscash, especially with that extra shield. And being down, oh, look at that. It's so unfortunate. These body slams just come out so fast. Takes out the Whiscash. We switch straight into our Abomasnow, and we've got two Weather Balls there. So Charizard is not going to survive these Weather Balls. So we're going to bring this one back. Actually, look, we almost have a third Weather Ball ready to go if we needed to. So insane the amount of energy we farmed up on the Mantine. So we take it to the third round against Paraplexy here. And we lead the reliable Vigoroth into the Daddy Cash. Now, we saw this in the last matchup. Vigoroth does extremely well. I just think that extra counter damage and the fact that Body Slams just do that little bit more than the Mud Bomb does on the Whiscash's side just really puts Whiscash in an unfortunate spot. Now, could have gone for a Blizzard here and chose to bait and then instantly throw. So we know this is just another Mud Shot. And I guess that's the downfall of Whiscash, is that his fast moves do nothing. His fast moves do no damage, so you don't overly have to worry. And we get the shield, and we get to the next Body Slam. I'm assuming that must have been an over tap on Paraplexi's part. And throws the second shield. So we are up 2 shields to none now, and we have Skarmory here to farm this Whiscash. Could have thrown a Mud Bomb, wasn't going to get to the Blizzard, unfortunately. Just gives our Skarmory a ton of energy, and Charizard. Charizard is a great counter with shields. If he doesn't have shields, Brave Bird, one hit KO. Ouch. And look, this matchup is actually really going on to watch. This shows how dominant Mantine actually can be over Galarian Stunfisk, right? Obviously we've got 2 shields, we're in super dominant spot, but watch how low our health is getting, right? We don't shield the first 2. I mean, we don't need to. We're like, well, may as well keep them for our Mantine in the back, make sure of it, right? We know they're bubble beams, it's not the end of the world. But here, look, we get to the Rock Slide, and Stunfisk wins. Stunfisk wins in the no shield. That is crazy. I was expecting 100% to lose, then have to use Mantine. Right, sorry. Next matchup. Derek Z. Wolf. So Lugia in here and a Shadow Swampert. The other 4 we've seen plenty, and you're expecting to see plenty of all of them. So that Shadow Swampert is a real cause of concern for us. Really going to put some pressure on everything, possibly except for Mantine, and even Abomasnow can't take a Sludge Wave. Oh, sorry, Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb? I can't remember. But what we've got here is Vigoroth vs Skarmory. We want to get something positive out of this matchup, whether it's take a shield and lose, or win the lead in an even shield scenario. So it's up to them, and they throw. So we are happy here because they could have farmed us down. There was a CMP tie, so we are taking that shield as our advantage. And we brought in Mantine just to farm up that little bit extra energy, and we just get the farm down. So now we're up shields, we've got the farm down, and out comes Galarian Stunfisk, which is a very intriguing play for me, because these bubble beams are gonna. And there we get the second. This is critical. Getting that second bubble beam really means those rock slides are not going to do anywhere near the damage. So we're like, okay, we're comfortable not to shield here and just see how things go. And we get an instant switch out into the Lugia, which actually plays very much in our favor. So we throw the ice beam. Lugia takes a ton of damage. We're like, sweet, we can let this go. We're fine. And Sky Attack doesn't KO, so I'm like, crap. Switch out, get out of there. And a little bit of lag, thank you. And we choose to throw the Bone Club here. Bone Club's going to be not quite in KO range. And they shield, so we get that last shield. And we're like, wow, alright, they've got to be going for the Hail Mary. And yeah, Hydro Pump, shielded. Now we can just farm down. We're up, 1 shield to none. And we have that Galarian Stunfisk in the back there. These Bone Clubs, surprisingly good amount of damage. With the 1 Fire Spin, going to take this match out. Match 1 against Derek Z Wolf going in our favour. So really, a lot of these matches are really close. Like things end up HP wise being very, very close. So Lugia versus Mantine. This one's pretty good for Mantine. We just need to, obviously Ice Wings are going to be super effective. Bubble's going to debuff. They're only really going to throw Sky Attacks. So it's whether they choose to shield or not. And the answer is not. So Sky Attack coming in there, and we're sitting in the driver's seat here, slightly ahead, and we throw a Bubble Beam like, yeah, let's get this shield, we'll be right. Oof, they don't shield, and we're like, oh man, oh no, that's right, they're debuffed, we don't have to shield this, and we should be okay to farm down, right? We should be okay. And you saw me tap. I tapped the Bubble Beam. I completely wussed out, but because I also over-tapped, it KO'd that Lugia. Probably set us up a lot better here, because that Shadow Swampert Mudshot us down, but it is 1-stage debuff, so it gets out of there, and we have to bring in the Galarian Stunfisk here. Sorry, we have to bring in the Marowak against the Stunfisk, because Marowak loses so much harder to Swampert that we have no other alternative. So right now we're just trying to chip away enough that we can actually, when we go down, we can just farm down with counters and not have to waste a shield and have a ton of energy for that Swampert. But unfortunately we are way off taking it out here, so we're going to take a Rock Slide because we will die from a Hydro Cannon from a Shadow Swampert. It will just do way too much damage at this point. There's no coming back. So, but we know we could have taken that Rock Slide. And the Mudshots aren't going to do diddly squat. So, that's why we didn't shield there. And we knew we had the energy advantage. So, we just have to outpace them with the extra energy that we had onto these body slams. So, I was waiting for a switch out there, which didn't come. Which is very surprising. I don't know if that was a CMP tie or not, but it should have been super close. So, we actually end up winning match 2 of round 3, so we are through to the finals undefeated so far, and last matchup against Derek the Wolf. So yeah, pretty positive all round here for us. We know that a Bulldoze doesn't KO us, but it does put a fair bit of hurt on here, so we're like, oh, look, we can survive it. We don't like to waste shields if it's not going to finish us off or put us in a position that we're too far gone, like, you know, where they're just in Farm City and they can take us out. So if he wants to win this matchup now, they are going to have to use shields. And there we go. We Fire Spin down. They probably had a Body Slam and didn't quite get it. And we get to a Shadow Ball. So if they don't shield this, this is like good night Irene. Lugia is tanky, but not that tanky. And smart play here from Derek Silph. Shields up and farms us down. So tons of energy here, but we have that Abomasnow from earlier. Abomasnow really puts in the work if you can line it up right. Sky Attack, gonna have to shield it because that will absolutely annihilate us. But we'll just be putting so much pressure on with these weather balls. So we're happy to shield the second Sky Attack. Wary of a switch out. No switch out, so we were happy to just farm that little bit extra energy. So we're almost at a second weather ball now. So it takes out the Lugia, and what comes in but that Swampert again. So poor Swampert is going to cop this energy ball, and that's good night. So we are through into the final round now. Now this is the first Silph Cup for the season, but this is the first match that's actually been done in this Silph Arena. So we're up against DJ Power in the final, so this is the first match of Season 3 for anyone. and we absolutely nailed the lead. So we're hoping now we are going to be in a great spot. We switch into our Abomasnow, which is a really nice counter for Mantine. So we just hard countering these Pokemon. Does land the Ice Beam, which could put us in a world of hurt. If they shield this Energy Ball, we're in trouble, but no shield coming through, so that puts us in a really strong position. Lag City. Thanks, Niantic. Weather Ball will KO, and there it goes. And we've got just a touch extra energy too. So whatever comes in is going to cop a Weather Ball before they can do anything. So it is that Vigoroth. So Vigoroth, unfortunately, is going to farm us down. Going to do a fair bit. But look, that Weather Ball's like he's in the yellow now, so we're in a good spot. Back out comes the Alolan, and we get to the Bone Club ahead of them getting to the Bulldoze, which chips down a really nice amount. We tried to switch out there to catch the Bulldoze, but it didn't end up working in our favour because there we go. In comes that Shadow Swampert. Now Shadow Ball needs to be shielded, and they do shield. Now we did switch there because we thought they were going to try and farm up extra energy before they threw. So even though they had some residual energy, it was definitely better for us. And now look, see how much damage that Shadow Hydro Cannon did. It's just over half HP, but not the end of the world. So happy to tank one. And we know their Vigoroth has no energy in the back. So we're really managing energy and Pokemon. Really key in this cup so far. Or this tournament I should say, is energy management. Absolutely critical. Opponent, unfortunately for them, switched out to try and catch the Body Slam. We were 2 counters off. So we get some extra energy and we can take out match number 1 against DJ Power. We are potentially 1 win off of ranking 4-0 and going number 1 in the world, right? This is really, really crazy. So, gonna shield that first Body Slam. And this is where we got a little silly. I think we actually would have been better off going for the Bubble Beam. But that was probably the play. You know, everyone shields the first one if they're going to throw the debuff move, right? Articuno and Ultra League. We've all seen that before. So, but by throwing the shielding and then throwing the Ice Beam, it actually put us in a really strong position. Now, obviously, we're going to be very low on HP and even down a shield here. So DJ's come out of this with something positive, except he switched into a Mantine. Now, are we going to get that shield back? No, lets that HP go. So we have our Mantine counter in Abomasnow ready to go. We just took a moment, get ourselves composed. And there we go. So we eat that Ice Beam. It's not the end of the world, but we now know we have got so much energy here. These Weather Balls are going to come in thick and fast, and we get the shield, and we're like, sweet, we are in Weather Ball farm down range. We'll survive this Ice Beam, get the Weather Ball off. If they want to shield again, that's fine. We're in a good spot, and they don't shield. So the no shield allowed us to quickly switch in Vig and come out with some extra energy, and that extra energy is really going to sit us in good stead against this Swampert, because we know we slightly outpace it if we have extra energy. If we don't have that extra energy, we ain't got nothing. So we know they're just Hydro Cannons. There's no reason to take one, and not now and later. I mean, you can do it whenever you want, essentially. But we're in a good spot. We just need to get to this last Body Slam, and then we will go 4-0 and take out the first Silph Arena tournament for Season 3 as winners. No one can take that away from me. It's a great feeling. So massive thanks to Arena Australis for hosting this one. We literally started the tournament at the exact time we could. So here we go. We're doing last round, and we threw out Skarmory first. Very not good. There's very little that Skarmory beats, except for maybe Mantine and Abomasnow, and maybe Vigoroth if you want to use the shield. So not the greatest spot to be in, and we're like, ah, crud. We didn't even get the Brave Bird. Let's just let it go. Oh, and we survive. So we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have thrown the Brave Bird. And we get the shield, and then Mudshot down. Oh, Mudshot does way too much damage. In comes now the Abomasnow. This is definitely a Sludge Wave. He's got so much energy there, and yeah, we correctly shield it. We farm up a little bit of extra energy, because they can throw a Hydro Cannon if they want, but it's not going to be the end of the world, and then take it out. So we're like, oh, we're not in such a bad spot. Oh, hold on. We stupidly brought in. Yes, I mean, we're thinking this is okay, but they're probably going to have Mantine in the back. And we didn't shield. Oh, oof. We didn't shield the Bulldoze. That's the one time you didn't want to shield the Bulldoze. Only don't shield the Bulldoze once the Mantine is dead. Otherwise, he's just farming you down, and then our poor little Bomber Snow, we're out. We're done. There's nothing we can do here, so we've won the tournament. We let this one go. No need to shield, no need to throw. Let it go. Oof, oof. We lose the last battle, but we win the war. So thank you so much, everyone who's watched this. We did go 4-0 in the very first Silph Arena tournament, Sunshine Cup. Heaps of fun. I really recommend you guys get in on it and have a go. It's a really enjoyable cup to be a part of. It's really close. And yes, we did, in fact, once everything updated, we did go to #1 in the world. The last time you'll ever see Dr. Trotter as #1 in the world. This is legit. This isn't Photoshop. This is what was on the page. Um, DJ Power and PvP Steve both went 3-1, so they're tied for second in the world behind me. And there we have it. I don't know. I love it. It's the last time you see it there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot about this cup. And I look forward to battling you all when we do some more in the rest of October. Take it easy. Goodbye.